It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz program here in the Prince George's Schools, where we bring together outstanding elementary and middle school students and test their scientific IQs, and we invite you to test your own. Play along with us today. All right, I'm in the studio. All of our students are in their classrooms. We start them out with 50 points, no penalties for incorrect answers, using the traditional 6 categories here that we have always used in our past 36 years. So let's meet the first team. Today we are featuring Glenarden Woods versus Greenbelt Elementary. Let's meet that Glenarden Woods team. Let's say hello to Aris. Hey, Aris, would you wave to everybody, please? Nice to have you here. Aris, what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
5th grade, all right. And Amani is part of the team. Amani, are you also a 5th grader?
I am.
Wonderful. Welcome to the team. And rounding out the threesome here, our fearsome threesome, is Mimi. Mimi, welcome to the program. What grade are you in?
I'm also in 5th grade.
Wonderful. Across the board, you are 5th graders. All right, let's get started. Let's go to the green things category. And I have 9 questions in this opening round. The first 3 come from green things. Here is green things for 5 points. While the vanilla extract that we use in making chocolate chip cookies, while the vanilla extract comes from the vanilla beans of the vanilla plant, and the nutmeg spice comes from the seed of the nutmeg plant, cinnamon comes from this part of a cinnamon tree, strips of which can be found in the spice jar you buy.
So what do you guys think?
Cinnamon sugar.
Vanilla comes from beans, nutmeg comes from seeds, cinnamon comes from what part of a tree?
I'm thinking the bark of the tree.
Yeah, I think the bark.
Yeah, it is the bark. In fact, sometimes if you buy cinnamon, you have little strips of it in there, just like sometimes you can buy dried vanilla beans. You can get the whole bean, not just the extract. Good start, 5 points. Let's go to green things for 10 points. The Great Plains in Middle America were once covered with grasslands, better known by this name, which also describes the rodents that form tunneled towns in its soil.
So any ideas? What do you?
So,
I guess that is Savannah.
Savannah?
yeah.
Yeah, like that's a grass plain.
Savannah it was a good try, but the important part of the question said also describes the rodents that form tunneled towns in its soil. We're referring to prairie dogs there. So the correct answer was prairie, another name for grasslands. Good try. Here's the 25-point question. This is interesting. T-shirts and linens made from bamboo are now very popular because they feel silky, and they are also very hygroscopic, H-Y-G-R-O, scopic. H-Y-G-R-O-scopic. They're very hygroscopic, meaning they do what when you wear them?
Any ideas?
So, I know hydro is water, so it probably has something to do with that.
Maybe it has something to do with sweat.
Like propel sweat.
Yeah, I think it repels liquid.
Very good, absolutely right. It repels the sweat, it wicks away the moisture. So if you're out there exercising, you know, you're not gonna come back and be stuck to your t-shirt because it wicks it away. Good answer, 25. Let's go to the zoo. How many of you have seen the new animated movie Encanto? It's just great, isn't it? The animated movie Encanto, set in Colombia, South America, features plenty of animals like capybaras, tapirs, and coatamundis. They all keep watch for the top predator of their jungle, this spotted cat that does not roar.
The jaguar.
Yeah, I'm thinking jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguar?
You're going with jaguar. It is the jaguar. 5 points. Great. 15 points. You know, it's not surprising that football and soccer players can suffer concussions, but so apparently can these birds that do a lot of head bashing themselves.
Woodpeckers. I think it's woodpeckers.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have constant migraines, banging your head against the tree all the time. But, you know, the brain, apparently it has some insulating properties, and it kind of sloshes back and forth. Good answer, woodpeckers. 25 points is a visual question. Glenarden Woods, you're doing fine. Let's look at this picture. This hummingbird, look at it, has an extraordinarily long bill so that it can reach nectar in long flowers that other birds can't reach. The problem is the beak is so long that it can't clean and smooth its feathers, a process known by this P, as in Paul, P initialed term.
So what are you guys thinking?
I don't know.
That's called preening. Preening, when you fluff up the feathers with the beak and you try to clean out and get the parasites out. That's called preening. 3 more questions. Still, you're doing fine. Bodyy Systems for 5 points. Here we go in that category. While your wrist is the most common site where you can feel this, it can also be felt at the side of your neck, inside your thigh, and under your armpit. What can you feel in all of those places?
I think it's your pulse. Yeah.
Your pulse.
It is your pulse. Excellent, excellent. 15 points. Bubble wrap. I love bubble wrap. Bubble wrap has what same shape as the 2 sides of your brain and the 2 equal sides of the earth.
Sphere? Wait, no, hemisphere. Because it's half.
Yeah, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that was a great catch there, Amani. Hemisphere is what we're looking for. You added the right prefix. All right, last question before we take your first break. For 25 points, here is a multiple choice question. If your eyes are bloodshot, the redness is visible in this white part of your eye, known as the sclera, the choroid layer, or the aqueous humor. The white of the eye, the sclera, the choroid layer, or the aqueous humor.
I'm guessing sclera.
I would go with, yeah, I'm gonna agree with Mimi.
Yeah.
So what's your answer?
The sclera?
The sclera is absolutely right. That is the white of the eye. Good answer there. You finished this opening round. Great score, 145 points. Nice beginning, Glenarden Woods. We'll see you again in a couple minutes. Good work. It is now time to meet that team from Greenbelt Elementary School. And as you can see, they have their school pictured in back of themselves there. Let's meet the team. Please say hello to Eliana. Hey, Eliana, wave to everybody at home, please. She is joined by Eleanor. Hey, Eleanor, another 5th grader. And the last 5th grader on the team is Camille. Hey, Camille, good to have you on the show. Let's go to your first questions from the category Green Things. I have 3 questions for you, one worth 5, one worth 15, and one worth 25 points. Your first question is a visual question. Have a look. This, the world's most popular herb, is a perennial with a wonderful taste and aroma that is used in many toothpastes and inside an irresistible chocolate-covered patty.
Mint? Yeah, it's mint.
More specifically, please. More specifically, please.
Spearmint?
No, actually peppermint. Peppermint, like a peppermint patty. That's why through that last part of the question there, an irresistible chocolate-covered patty. Peppermint is what we were looking for. Nice try. Let's go to 15 in green things. You know, plants can change the carbohydrates they make during photosynthesis, like sugar, into proteins, and also into these kinds of nutrients that get stored in peanuts, olives, and pecans, for instance. Those three foods are loaded with what?
What do you think it is?
Okay, you're checking among each other there. Eliana, what's the consensus?
Can you repeat the question, please?
All right, when a plant undergoes photosynthesis, it makes food, carbohydrates like sugar. Well, the plant needs more than just sugar. Some of that sugar is turned into protein, and some of it is turned to this other kind of nutrient that is found a lot of in things like olives and pecans and peanuts. We're looking for fats. So if you look at the nutritional labeling on the side of a lot of things, you'll find that they are high in fats. That's why you shouldn't eat so many peanuts. You don't have to worry about that. You guys are younger, but if you want to reduce the amount of fat in your diet, you want to be careful to avoid things like nuts. 25 points in green things. Let's get this one. Let's get some points. Decomposing leaves make good mulch in your garden. You guys have a garden? Do you grow gardens? You have sometimes you can grow wonderful. Mulch is important. You can put it on your lawn too to return this important nutrient to the soil. This nutrient is an unreactive gas in the atmosphere that's converted to a usable form by legumes like peanuts and soil bacteria. This gas is important. This nutrient, also a gas, also a chemical element, must be in the soil for plants to grow well. Can you give me that chemical element, which is also a gas? Think of some gases that are important. All right, Eliana, what's the group think there? Make a decision, please.
Okay, sorry about that. Carbon dioxide, maybe?
Carbon dioxide is a good try. Correct answer is nitrogen. Nitrogen, you need nitrogen in the soil. Very important for plant growth. A lot of fertilizers contain nitrogen. Let's go to the zoo. 5 points. All right, you just told me you have gardens. Gardeners can probably feel a sense of revenge when they go to county fairs, pick up a mallet, a big hammer, and whack these rodents that keep popping up in a popular game.
Groundhogs.
Close. Moles. There's a game called whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, where these little moles keep popping up and you keep trying to smack them. Let's go to 15 points in the zoo. You know, birds don't have their own GPS to find their way. They don't have Waze, W-A-Z-E, on their phones. But they always can find their way by using these fields that surround the earth. What fields do the birds depend on to help find their way, since they don't have maps or Waze or GPS? Come on, Eliana, let's get it.
Magnetic fields.
You got it. Bingo. Pat on the back. 15 points. You're on a roll. 25 points in zoo. Long question, but a simple answer. Sea turtles. Everybody loves sea turtles. Some of them in Massachusetts had to be rescued recently when the water got too cold and they started to struggle with hypothermia. It was too cold for the turtles. There were no jackets for them. As a result, the poor turtles couldn't feed, and they suffered from dehydration. They dried out, and they had this respiratory disease that we humans can get as well, a disease that is spelled, its first letter is a silent P, as in Paul. The name of this respiratory disease with its first letter is a silent P, is one that human beings can get as well.
Okay.
What you think?
Pneumonia?
You got it, 25 points. Pneumonia. Yes, yes, 2 in a row. Let's go for 3. Let's go to the body. All right. How many of you like scary movies? I'm not on your side either, no. What was that one with the clown in the sewer, It? You know, couldn't watch that. Couldn't watch it. Bodyy Systems for 5 points. Your skin, if you're watching scary movies or if you're cold, will form these that will make the hair on your skin stand on end. What do you make? What happens to your skin?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps, you got it. Yeah, that's a good series too, the Goosebumps books. 15 points. Now you're playing. For 15 points, well, no one really likes to talk about hemorrhoids. You know the commercials on TV, everybody goes, oh, hemorrhoids. Well, hemorrhoids do occur. They can, in fact, hemorrhage, which means they can do this. What does the word hemorrhage mean? The hemorrhoids will do this. All right. You've been getting them all. Let's get another one. What do you have, Eliana?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, I think you know. I'm looking for the meaning of the word hemorrhage. Correct answer there is bleed. Hemorrhaging is to bleed. Let's go to 25 points in body. Someone who is flat-footed is so because these foot parts have fallen or collapsed. When you buy shoes, you have to be very careful that you get the right ones because you can become flat-footed if you buy the wrong ones and your feet are not supported. People who have flat feet have feet that have fallen, these foot parts have fallen or collapsed. They're called the arches. Your fallen arches was the right answer there. You end up round with 95 points. You had a nice spurt of good answers there. I know you're going to do really well in the second half as well. Good work, guys. See you in a few moments. It is now time to bring back that team from Glenarden Woods and find out about our players here. Let's go first to Aris, the team captain. Aris is a 5th grader. And Aris, tell us why you wanted to be on the Science Bowl.
Well, I really like science. It's one of my favorite subjects, really. And competing, I love competing as well. So it's just combining science and competing. It's just heaven for me.
That's a wonderful answer. And you said that so well, too. And, you know, all through your life, you're competing in one way or another. And this is just one more opportunity, in this case, for you to demonstrate to the people at home how much you know about science and your poise and your skill. You're doing that well. Let's go to your teammates. Let's go to Amani. Amani, you know an awful lot about science. You demonstrated that in the first round here. How do you know so much science?
Well, I try to study in my free time because for me, science is really fun. Just getting an understanding of how the world works. I like that. So I just apply what I know to real life, and I have to make sure that I'm retaining this information so that I can use it in these competitions.
Wow, that is beautifully said as well. And I like that you said it was fun, and I like that you realize at this young age that this helps you understand the way the world works. You know, you're not going to be flummoxed by things that happen because you can take them apart. You can see the physics, the chemistry, the biology, what is making all this happen. You're a really great player. Keep it up in the second half. And let's talk to Mimi. Mimi, nice to have you on the show here today. Glenarden Woods has always been a great competitor here. Do you feel like you're part of a great tradition?
Yeah, since this school has won a lot of games, I feel like it's a nice tradition, and we're just a really, really good school in this kind of thing.
Well, they're lucky to have you. You're doing a nice job here. Tell me, what do you hope to do someday? Have you thought about a future?
Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be either an archaeologist or a paleontologist.
Wonderful. So all the things that happened in the past, I think we've just scratched the surface. There's a lot more to discover, and I can tell you're going to be good whatever you choose. Good luck in the second half. All right, Glenarden Woods, let's get into the last 9 questions. Your next 3 questions come from the Let's Get Physical category. If you're ready, here we go. Let's get physical for 5 points. A television show called One Strange Rock was all about this 5th largest planet in our solar system.
So what are you guys thinking?
I feel like maybe Mars.
Possibly Earth, maybe. Because it is the odd one out, because none of the other ones support, like, that universe.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, say...
Earth. Yeah.
See, we couldn't trick you. Not that we were trying to. It is indeed Earth, the 5th one. And of course, when you talk about rocky planets, you've really limited it because most of the planets in our solar system are gas giants. Good answer. Let's get physical for 15 points. This gas that's the best to fill your tires with, since it won't seep through the rubber, is the same gas they put inside potato chip bags to keep the chips fresh. It has the atomic number 7 on the periodic table of elements, and if liquefied, can famously freeze a banana solid. Name that gas.
Nitrogen. Because liquid nitrogen can freeze things really
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go with...
You got it. You got it. Nitrogen, that solid banana, that frozen banana that did it for you. Good, 15 points. All right, for 25 points. If there's an electrical overload in your house and you have a fuse box, don't worry. Since the thin wire inside the fuse has a very high resistance and a very low MP. MP stands for what quality of that wire. 2 separate words, MP.
So what are you guys thinking?
At first, I was thinking magnetic pulse.
Electronic pulse, maybe?
It's MP.
Oh, MP.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go with magnetic pulse.
Good try. Remember, we're talking about an overload of electricity. You're trying to prevent a fire in the house, and that fuse has a wire in there, and it shuts everything down because it has a very low melting point. Melting point is the MP there. Let's go to Potpourri, 5 points. Robots that can reproduce has long been just science fiction. But some new xenobots, Xeno, some new xenobots that are made from stem cells of this croaking amphibian are capable of replicating themselves.
So,
Frog, yeah.
It is a frog, indeed. Good answer. Let's look at this picture. Here's a visual for 15 points in Potpourri. You know, one of the hottest health foods right now is acai berries. Acai berries, a healthy food you can see here that grows on a South American palm tree. You can't buy them fresh in the store because they quickly turn rancid after being picked. What P, as in Paul, what P initialed word describes such a food that soon spoils?
so what are you guys thinking?
I don't know.
That's a tough one. Something that goes bad quickly. You have to eat it right away. It's considered perishable. Perishable. Let's go to the 25-point question in Potpourri, which is a multiple choice question. Creatures that develop different structures to accomplish the same thing, like moving a creature through the air or the water, like fins on a fish, are comparable to wings on a bird. That kind of evolution is known as convergent, congruent, or coincidental. You've got different structures on different animals, but it's helping them do basically the same thing. It's called what kind of evolution? Convergent, congruent, or coincidental?
Convergent.
Convergent.
Yeah.
You got it. 25 points. It is convergent evolution. Nicely done. All right, we have 3 more questions for you. Let's keep up your good pace here. This is DATELINE Science for 5 points. We can thank Alexander Flemings for getting to clean one of these common bacteria-growing laboratory dishes for the discovery of the antibiotic penicillin.
Petri dish?
Petri dish.
Petri dish is right for 5 points. You nailed that. You were on that one right away. Here's the 15-point question in DATELINE. It was Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte who asked this scientist to come up with a way to kill bacteria in milk without affecting the milk's flavor.
I don't remember the first name, but I know his last name was like Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur.
You got it. It is Pasteur. It's Louis Pasteur. That is all we needed. Thank you. Wonderful job there. That was Amani weighing in, Mimi, and Aris all. Last question of the game. Here we go. Stephen Hawking, the scientist forever remembered for discovering black holes and for his courageous fight against Lou Gehrig's disease, is buried in London's Westminster Cathedral right next to the tomb of this greatest physicist of all time.
What do you guys think? Isaac?
So it's physics. So
Albert Einstein or
yeah, I think Albert Einstein.
I'm thinking Isaac Newton.
yeah, it's one of those two.
I think Einstein.
Okay, Aris, your choice?
Einstein?
Correct answer there was Isaac Newton. Nice try, but you end the game with a great score. 215 points, Glenarden Woods. Pat yourselves on the back. Nice job. We'll bring you back in just a few moments here. Let's see if you're moving on in the competition. All right, it's now time to bring back that team from Greenbelt Elementary School. And let's meet these young ladies here. Let's go first to the captain of the team, Eliana. Eliana, how did they make you the captain of the team?
So Miss Hollingsworth asked who wanted to be the captain, and I offered, and then she made me the captain.
That's wonderful. She chose well because I see how you're turning left and right. You're trying to get the ideas from your 2 teammates there, and it takes courage to step up, and that was a great thing for you to do. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to dance and watch TV and play games and go outside.
Those are all great things to do, and you're doing a nice job here today. Keep it up in the second half. Let's talk to your teammates. Let's go to Eleanor. Eleanor, why did you want to be on the Science Bowl show? We're glad you made the choice, but why did you want to do this?
I always like science, and well, I just when I had the opportunity to join the Science Bowl team, I took it, and then when Ms. Hollingsworth asked who wanted to compete, I just kind of instantly raised my hand, and well, now I'm competing.
And now you're competing. You're doing a great job. It's always good to accept a challenge in life. Even, if you're perfect at something, it's kind of easy, but this is something, you've never done this before. And by the time you get comfortable, it's almost over, but I just hope you're relaxing and you're having some fun. What do you want to do someday?
I've always liked the ocean, so I want to be a marine biologist when I'm older, I guess.
That's wonderful. Yeah, the oceans, just a tiny fraction of the oceans have really been explored. There's a lot out there. I know you're going to do well. Let's talk to your teammate. Let's go to Camille. Hey, Camille, nice to have you on the show. Let me ask you about yourself. Thoughts on your future? What do you want to do?
I like to read and write quite a lot, so I want to be an author.
Wow. A journalist, it's a great job because it's creative. And if I bet you read a lot too, as you were saying there. As you read, you're taken to so many different places, and if you're a good communicator, you can do just about anything in life. All right, Greenbelt, it's now time for your last 9 questions. Let's get physical for 5 points. Your answer will be a number. It's a numerical answer. For 5 points, once water reaches this boiling point temperature on the Fahrenheit scale, if you keep adding heat, it will not increase the water's temperature, but it stays at what number?
What do you think it is?
I'm not sure.
Milk?
I don't really know.
I
know like freezing is 32 degrees.
Yeah. I sometimes boil water, and I've heard somewhere that it's like around 300 something to 400 degrees.
That seems hot, but I can go with it.
It's up there. It's up. The correct answer is 212. 212 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale, 100 on the Celsius scale. Let's go to 15 points. Instead of fuses, F-U-S-E-S, instead of fuses to help safeguard your home's electrical system, most homes have a box that contains switches for on and off that can break this. The C, as in cat, the C initialed path followed by electrical current. The on and off switch in that box is a certain kind of breaker. What kind of C initialed breaker? This term describes the path followed by an electrical current.
What do you think it is?
You know, sometimes if something's wrong with maybe your stove or your refrigerator or something, your mom or dad or someone will go downstairs and throw a circuit breaker. A circuit breaker. The C is a circuit. Remember that for when you grow up, you have a house of your own. 25 points. Physical. As far as chemical reactions go, the most reactive metal is potassium with the symbol K, while the least reactive metals are gold, symbol AU, silver, symbol AG, and this other precious metal with the symbol PT.
I think it's like copper.
Yeah.
Copper.
Again, it's PT. P as in Paul, and then a small t. PT. So it has to begin with the letter P. You know, if you follow music, you know that if someone sells a lot of records, it's called a gold record. They get a gold record. And if they keep selling records like Adele, they get a platinum. Record. Yeah, I already gave the answer there. Platinum. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to Potpourri for 5 points. Potpourri. If fish eggs come from a sturgeon fish, they're called caviar. Very expensive. But generally in fish, the fish eggs are known by this name, a word that sounds exactly like what you do to propel a boat.
So what do you do to propel a boat? What do you do to propel a boat?
Well, there's a motor, and then
A motor, and what rhymes with there's like paddle.
No, what you would do, humans are involved. What would you do to propel a boat?
rowing it,
Paddle. We paddle to
or like
propel-
rowing it.
Rowing, paddle to propel a boat.
Okay, you're there. So I just need Eliana to tell me which one is also another name for fish eggs. It's the same. Sounds the same. Which one do you want to choose? Which one?
It's paddle.
Actually, it's row. If you row the boat, that's R-O-W, and fish eggs are R-O-E, row. All right, remember that. 15 points in Potpourri. A scientist is thinking he will build a new version of the Concorde, a supersonic airplane. There used to be one. They stopped because they weren't profitable, but also they stopped because when they flew over land, they created these noises. Supersonic. Think about that word, supersonic. So what did they create when they flew over land that bothered people that lived underneath them?
Sound waves? They made sound.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't think that's it.
Camille?
Okay, what you thinking?
Maybe they made like a lot of sound, supersonic
Right,
sound
they made a
waves.
lot of sound. They broke the sound barrier and they created something called a sonic boom. We'll give you those points for 15. 25 points is a visual question, girls. Look at this picture. Yeah, Santa loves these guys. Reindeer and caribou, different words, are actually the very same species. But caribou is usually the name given to wild reindeer, while the term reindeer, given to those that are tamed, like Santa's herd, and thus known by this term, is the opposite of wild. What D, as in David, initial term, describes an animal that is the opposite of a wild animal. It means the same thing as tamed.
Domesticated.
You got it. Domesticated is right. 25 points. Pat on the back time. Good, good, good. Fist bump time. All right, let's keep going. 5 points in Dateline. Because seagrass has declined in the waters around Florida, state wildlife officials have started feeding heads of lettuce and cabbage to these aquatic mammals, sometimes called sea cows.
Manatees.
You got it, manatees. And you know, the sad thing is, girls, they're so used to eating seagrass, they don't even know that lettuce is edible. So they're having to kind of teach them, hey, you can eat this stuff. I guess they're just naturally afraid of trying to change their diet, as hungry as they are. Good answer, 5 points. 15. Among the many crises our world is facing, one of the worst is the polluting of our oceans. And we know, future oceanographers are going to be looking at that. One of the many crises is the polluting of our oceans with this material, with the worst offenders having names like polyethylene, polypropylene, polyamides. They are all what kind of P-initialed substances that don't disintegrate for hundreds of years.
Plastic.
Plastics, absolutely right. And we know that, Eleanor, you're going to do a nice job with that when you get to be an oceanographer one day. Last question of the game, 25 points. If your optometrist tells you are short-sighted, he means that the parallel rays of light entering your eye are flipped upside down, which is normal. The lens does that. But they fall short of reaching this layer at the back of your eye where your photosensitive cells are actually located. The image cannot reach the what?
I don't know. Camille?
Yeah, I think that. I don't know.
What do you think it is?
Okay, it's a part of the eye. Let's get it.
Camille,
What did Eleanor say?
Eleanor, what'd you say?
I didn't say.
Correct answer there. Greenbelt was retina, which means that you end the game with 155 points. You had some real moments of brilliance in this game. Let's see if 155 will be enough. We'll see you again in a few moments. Nice work. All right, we had a terrific game here today. And yes, you can see why these young people were picked to be on their teams, their Science Bowl teams. Not only did they have a lot of scientific knowledge, did you notice how they worked together? Life is about cooperation, and they demonstrated that. poise under pressure. They had never done this before. It takes courage to do this, and they did it as well. And I hope you were able to keep up with them at home as you were watching. Our final tally today is Greenbelt Elementary 155, Glenarden Woods Elementary 215. So we congratulate Glenarden Woods. We're going to see you in the next game. And we congratulate Greenbelt. Everyone acquitted themselves beautifully. A nice round of applause for everyone. And you know, we can't hear you, but I mean, people at home are cheering for you. And I know that on Greenbelt's channel, that the Science Bowl shows are shown. We're going to post this on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it on our channel as well. Thank you for being here today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Science Bowl. I'm Dave Zarin, and I hope to see you again. Bye-bye now.